Hi guys, I just thought I'd do an update because once again the seasons have changed and I just seem to do updates when the seasons change these days. There's been a whole lot of things going on in my world lately and also not much at all. In the last few months, so winter in Australia, I have been having Scenar treatment. What it does is it sends little electric signals through the skin and the nerves, and it picks up where things aren't functioning as well as they could be. It sends messages to the brain to try and correct the malfunction. My nervous system is quite a complicated case, so it's a bit unpredictable how the Scenar will affect me. The good news is that it definitely does have an effect on me, and a lot of the research shows that if you get an effect from the device, then in the long run it should sort of normalize itself to a positive effect. If you get no effect at all, then it's not going to help you. So I've been getting an effect. The effect has been incredibly unpredictable. Throughout the few months that I've been having treatment, I've had some treatments that make me feel fantastic. I've had some treatments that immediately lower the pain in certain areas. I've had treatments that completely threw my body into a crazy nervous attack thing. On the worst occasion, I was panicking because my entire body was twitching, which was making the twitches worse, and I was having a panic attack, struggling to breathe, which was just increasing the pain because I was so confused about what was going on in my body. And when there's that many signals bouncing around, it's a lot of brain fog to deal with. It makes it really hard to sort of evaluate what's actually going on in the moment. So that was the worst case. However, since that really big crash, all of the effects have been a little bit more mild. I've had a sort of a symptom of the week type of scenario where I get a treatment and then say my hands flare up or my knees flare up, or I get excessive sweating. I'm suddenly more sensitive to scent, to sound, to whatever. There was the week I had eczema all over my torso. I've never had eczema in my life, so this was a really weird thing. I mean, it may not have been eczema. There was no biopsy done to check the rash, but the steroid cream made it go away and it hasn't come back. But that was just another weird thing that my body decided to do with this input into the nervous system that it's been getting. Symptoms of the week, it's been a lot to deal with, to cope with. I've found that all of these things that I had in place as far as looking after myself around the house, cleaning my house, keeping myself on track with a paleo diet by cooking, shopping regularly, all of that has been really hard to maintain while I'm just constantly trying to catch up with these fluctuations in my symptoms and my limitations, really. That's been hard to deal with. I'm feeling a little better in the last couple of days after having a really rough week, sort of emotionally. I was just really down, struggling to fight off the negative thoughts, struggling to find the motivation to keep coping, struggling to deal with old thought patterns that I used to have when I had really bad flare-ups initially. I've noticed that's been quite a strange thing, in that depending on what part of my body flares up, my mind kind of goes back to that place, and I noticed the thought patterns and the anxiety patterns that I would have associated with that previous condition, that previous way that my symptoms presented themselves, recurring. I think the funniest example of this is that I had a couple of weeks where my knees were really sore, and my knees haven't been a huge problem with CRPS. I mean, it's been there, but my knees were a huge problem when I was about 15. Back then, I used to play basketball. And I had to stop playing basketball when my knees became sore all of the time. All of a sudden, here in this day, 2012, years since I've even picked up a ball, I was longing to play basketball. I miss basketball. I just want to play with my friends. My brain just went back into this teenage world of wanting to be part of things and wanting to join in and missing this activity that I really haven't missed or worried about in years. And I just think that it was a connection to the symptom. It was that knee pain. My brain remembers those days, and it set off some little networks of signals that resulted in me having these thoughts, and the thoughts resulted in me having these feelings about having sore knees and wishing I could play basketball. I've had similar things with having a lot of hand flare-ups. When my hands flare up, I can't cook, and that really, really is a kind of a trigger for me. It's something I really need to keep dealing with, and because it's something that I struggle with. When I can't cook and I can't look after myself, I get into that mind loop of I can't do anything, I'm an invalid, this condition is ruining my life, my future's been stolen, I'm never going to be healthy again. All of these thoughts that aren't useful for anything but are anxiety and are associated with both the pain and also the situation that the pain puts me in. So there's been quite a lot of nights where I've really had to deal with getting quite upset because I couldn't cook dinner. And it might seem like a really small thing, especially to those of you who are not living with the pain, but in my world, it's huge. Communication has been really hard for me this month, because I've just been so focused on trying to get through the days and not get upset, and trying to keep myself motivated to do the things that will help me get out of the ditch, such as my Feldon cries, such as monitoring myself and not allowing myself to get caught up in these wheels of anxiety that aren't taking me anywhere positive. There's a lot of burnout to deal with when trying to completely reorganize the way that you think. I mean, I'm constantly looking at things from different perspectives, and whenever I have negative thoughts or I find myself feeling down, I'm picking away at it, and I'm looking at it and at the emotion, and at me who's observing the emotion, and at what's led to the emotion, the things that I can do before it gets to that point. Just basically recognizing these patterns in my brain that are just patterns in my brain that before this, or before, I did a whole lot of work of trying to learn to live happily and deal with challenging circumstances. I thought that these thoughts and emotions were me. I thought that they were who I am, and I'm not them. I'm just the person up here watching them. So if I can see them, then I'm not them, right? So I see these and I'm trying to deal with them, and I'm trying to put in place healthy habits that will help me to continue coping with challenges in the future. It's been a really, really long month. I've been down in the dumps more than I would like, but I'm really quite proud to be here today talking to you, because I'm feeling a lot better, and the sun's been out for 2 days, and that's probably really helping me. I've been able to actually sit outside and get some sun on my skin, which I think is just really important in order to live as a human being. Yay, spring! You hurt me a little, but I'm really glad you're here with your blue, blue skies, so thanks for coming. My plans for the immediate future are just keep plugging away, keep learning and reading, because that helps me to stay inspired, it helps to keep me on track. And when a lot of what I need to do is just lie down on the floor and do Feldenkrais, or go for a walk, or do chores in tiny little lots, like, this is not exciting stuff. So that takes a lot of work to keep myself coping and in a good mood throughout dealing with all of the symptoms that have been thrown into a loop by the Scenar. This isn't to say that the Scenar is not helping me. This is just adjustment. I don't feel like I could conclusively say anything at this stage as to whether or not this is miracle device or this is awful for me. I don't know yet. All I know is that it is causing fluctuations. It's causing change, and hell, change is good. So if I have to go through some uncomfortable changes to get to the good changes, then I'll go through them. If I have to go through some uncomfortable changes and there's no good changes at the end, well then I've tried, because hey, there aren't any options left for me in medical science, in the medical world. So I don't expect science to save me. I know that I can continue to improve my life by working really hard at all aspects of it, pain or not. My love to all of you, and I hope that things are treating you well. Welcome to spring. Sorry if you're in the northern hemisphere. It's lovely down here today. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.